Yeah, I'm TBird, and you're listening to Nasty Knuckles Podcast.
You're listening to Nasty Knuckles, the Hockey Outlaws Podcast, with your hosts, Derek Nasty Settlemyre and former Philadelphia Flyer enforcer Riley Cote, as they go behind the scenes with your favorite NHL players. Time to face off.
All right, welcome back. What's happening, Nasty?
What's up, Regarelia? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. You awake?
Well, you know I'm awake because you saw what I was chopping.
Some wood?
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. Doing all right, buddy. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, happy to be back in the stew.
Well, it's nice to have you back. We were wondering if we were going to, you're doing these other engagements, so we're just happy to have you back.
Oh, glad to be back. It wasn't that long.
It seemed like it.
Seemed
It was
6
Thursday.
days ago.
It was 6 days ago. It was. When we had the coach on.
Yeah.
Oh, Gabby.
Yep.
Yeah, man. No, missed the men's league game this weekend. I did because it got backed up, so I can't give you shit because I wasn't sitting around for 2 extra hours to wait on it. Boys we lost, I guess, and gave that team their first win
Oh, man.
of the year.
It's
So
disappointing.
disappointing, but anyway, what have you been doing?
Just piecing a few things together. Getting on some stages.
Saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Just cleaning up all your mess. And,
Mine. I've been working my ass off getting the website back going. I got that all figured out, and it took me a while.
Any new merch up there?
That's being worked on as we speak. Thank God I got the thing up and running, though.
Oh, God. I didn't know you were such an IT
apologize.
guy.
I do apologize because it was not working properly, and the orders have gone out, so we're good that way.
Good.
I didn't see you order anything, though.
No, you just come right directly
Well,
to
I
the
know
source.
you come ready to go. But, hey, since we were last together, the Flyers have gotten 5 out of the last 6 points.
Yeah.
They had
Nice
a
little
really,
stretch.
really nice comeback against the Devils. Went to that game, and Forster Tyson started scoring some goals there, and he's
Yeah.
been scoring ever since. He had 2 goals that game. They had a nice comeback, end up losing in overtime. Hughes to Hughes, little
Hughes
Jizzy
to
to his
Hughes,
brother.
yeah.
One-timer. Carter was amazing that game. But to go into Pittsburgh and win that game in overtime, 4-3 actually in the shootout. Forster had a goal and assist. Remained hot. Don't yawn. I see it coming. See it coming. And then he gets the shootout winner.
Oh, yeah.
So those were good games to watch. And then, Monday night they played Pittsburgh again. Sid, of course, lights the lamp, which he think he's done more than anyone in that center. But Coots ends up getting the OT winner. Great sauce from TK. TK had 2 assists that game. But
Nice
really
little,
good
face-off
game.
play on
the
D-zone
face-off
draw.
play. I read Sandy said he saw the way they were lined up, and with the knowledge that man has, he says, I'm remming it, go.
Yeah.
And TK went, and seriously, really nice play. And Coots buried it. It was cool to see. I don't know if you saw Lotz coming
Oh, yeah,
on the
the
thing. I
double
was
hand.
laughing.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
fist
That
bump
was so
with the
great. I
stick.
sent him a message. But, yeah, man, they're playing well. And like we said, Forster's he's scored in 3 straight.
Yeah. Good for him to kind of
Yeah.
open it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Find his stride.
Yeah.
I will say on that face-off play, I mean, I understand the way they lined up, but realistically, one of those 2 Pittsburgh forwards should have pulled out.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, even this
100%.
probably center.
That's
on
why
center.
you coached,
Well,
because you understand that.
So it's like you just gotta pull out 3-on-3. There's a lot of space.
When
out
it
there.
happened, I was like, when Sandy got it and rimmed it, you obviously saw the 2 guys here, and TK took off. So, and I'm like, well, that's set play,
Oh,
obviously. But even if it wasn't Sandy, it's a great play for
it's
those
so,
guys to
so
notice
small.
it, which I don't think Sandy's lied about. He saw that, but great play.
Yeah.
And you have some veteran guys on the ice there that you would think would not put themselves in that position.
This is like being face-off ready. There's only one defenseman to jump on, right? Why would 2 guys be?
Yeah.
standing there, trying to
Exactly,
forecheck. But hey, that's the game, right? A little brain fart.
Yep. But
Smart play and
good for the Fly Boys, and also Carter was amazing in that game. He had 31 saves. God, like he was lights out, and Urson was as well. He played really well in Pitt. So if they keep this going, like we've been talking about, man, they kind of are up and down. They'll win a couple, but man, they're hard to play against.
They're hard to play against,
and they're in
yeah.
every game. They're in every game. What'd you think about the? I do want to bring up one thing, like Beezer. Joel Farabee played 56 seconds, and I don't understand that. I'm not a coach. I'm not Torch, but that was a little. I think that's a little.
Probably it must have been a weak 56 seconds.
Oh, obviously he did something wrong in that 56 seconds. But
Yeah.
I kind of felt bad once I realized, because I was at the game and, kind of out of sight, out of mind. I remember seeing him early in the game, and I never really thought about it. And then I think Baller sent me something, and I see 56 seconds. I was like, he only played 56 seconds in the third? No. He only played 56 seconds in the game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, leave the guy alone, man. Like, I mean, he's not the only guy that makes a mistake during a game. Like, I don't know exactly what it all entailed, but I thought that was a little ridiculous.
Yeah,
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I've always struggled with that. That's like the old school way. It's like it's almost like the coach goes into the game like wanting to prove a point of some sort. He's just waiting for something to slip up, and then he'll kind of pull one of those types of moves. Like no matter how bad your first shift is, like. Could you not get the guy out there for another one? Like, just to throw the guy a bone? I understand, like, the whole message, sending him all for it, but except for, like, it's got to be some realism in the sport, right? I mean, it's, like, it's a tough sport, and if you go out there first shift and it doesn't necessarily work your way, like, you still got a lot of juice left in you. You can really turn the game around, at some point if you actually get back out there, but I understand what he's doing. He's proven his point, and I'm just not sure that is
if he sits
the
him
ideal way.
Right. If he sits him the rest of the period, even okay.
Exactly.
But
hey,
but
throw
or
him a
if you
bone.
do that again, or if someone said maybe they had a meeting about the exact thing and he missed his assignment. It's not the first guy that's done it. I mean, it happens. It sucks. And like you said, I understand you're trying to prove your point, but the whole game, like,
yeah. And good for Beezer because he kept a great attitude.
He did.
And that's the rumbling in the media and around town is that he could easily hang his head and he pouted. And
he could have pulled the Z. Have
a little nap.
That's where he was sitting.
Yeah,
he was
right,
taking his little nap.
But Beezer's got a great attitude, and
he does.
he was a team guy and sucked it up, and I would imagine that he learned his lesson, whatever it was. I'm sure it was addressed, and he's got to move on. He may as well just played 0 seconds and not get a game to play for that. But
at least he gets the game.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, boys are hot. Don't want to jinx them because every time we say something that something goes wrong. But they're on a tough little stretch here. They're on the road this
3
week.
games.
They're in Arizona, which Debo called a wagon earlier. He said these guys are unbelievable, which they are playing well. And then they're in Colorado. Obviously, they're a wagon. They're very good. And then ended up in Nashville, which I think we should make a road trip.
Probably should.
I think we should.
Why not?
Are you allowed?
Well,
These two said they were in.
Okay, well, let's
All
do
right,
it.
well, we're doing it. We're going to Nashville. But tough trip here coming up for them. Hopefully they can get some points and stay up near the top of the division there.
Yeah. What else is going on in
we had
NHL land?
Nikita Zadorov was traded to Vancouver from Calgary, and I know Toronto Baller was saying that Toronto was really hot and heavy trying to grab him. Obviously, they have some defensemen that are hurt, but he got traded to Van, make them a little stronger. The Hughes brothers played each other last night. It's kind of cool. I watched most of that game. New Jersey ended up winning it late, a lot of scoring, but must be pretty cool. I have a half sister, but it'd be to have 2 brothers and you play in an NHL game.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's been other guys that have done it, but it's still pretty neat to see.
Yeah,
they
for
took
sure.
a picture, man. And they were showing on the NHL Network when each of them got drafted.
The draft, yeah.
Like, they're so young, man.
Oh, my
It's
God.
crazy.
So excited and raw.
Yeah, exactly. So, I was kind of cool to watch that game. But, the one thing is the LA Kings 10-0 on the road. Can't seem to scrape a win together. Will Ferrell's at their games, and I don't know if he's fucking them up or what it is, but 10-0 on the road, man.
It's impressive.
I would wear those shiny silver helmets every game, man. Keep winning. Those are pretty cool, by the way. Those are neat. Sick. But yeah, man, they, like Baller said, they haven't lost on the road. That's tough to do.
It's hard to believe, actually, yeah. Well, keep it rocking.
Wait, well, that was interesting.
You like?
He goes, keep it rocking.
Yeah.
You like the Kings silver helmets?
I do.
What about Flyers orange?
Listen, Chris, I do not, and I keep telling him that. Our buddy Chris Mayer keeps bringing up orange helmets. Have you ever seen an orange helmet? I don't know if I've seen one, Debo, but
it'd throw off the flow,
I told him
man.
twice, would you stop? And some people are like, yeah, it'd be sick. No, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
It would look like shit.
It would throw
orange
it off.
helmets.
It would throw it off. It would look amateur, I think.
It would look amateur hour.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
That's what I would think.
And Chris knows that because he fucks with me. He always says that to me.
Maybe get some Cooperalls again. Just go,
orange?
Yeah. Well, no,
Let's go
orange,
straight orange.
Let's move past the warm-ups and actually wear them in a full game.
In a game? Ain't happening.
No?
No, you can't.
Why?
Because guys wear pants. They don't wear girdles.
Ah.
Can't put them on. That'd be uncomfortable.
You
saw them in
do
onesies.
it for the outdoor game.
For the whole game?
Why
Give
not?
them girdles. Break in girdles, boys. We're gonna,
Just
someone
for
gets
show.
hurt, you're screwed.
Just for the marketing of
Just
the game.
for the marketing, yeah.
Well,
it ain't happening.
No,
No,
probably not.
orange helmets, maybe, but not.
I hope not.
Pants.
Black stripes? Racing stripes on the.
Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. We will see.
Oh, dreams do come true now.
They do. They do. Can't wait for October.
Oh, man. Yeah, right?
Orange helmets.
Yep. Maybe another lifetime.
Oh, boy.
All right, we're ready, Nash.
Are we ready?
It's that time.
Yeah, you're
episode.
giggling. We're ready.
Yeah.
You're yawning. You're giggling. You
Oh,
don't
no,
know what to
it's
do.
not. Just a little extra oxygen.
All right, let's get after
All right, one. Episode 137 with our good friend Triston Grant, TBird.
TBird.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Santa, baby. The season for a fresh cut is finally here with the sponsor of today's show, Manscaped. The leaders in below the waist grooming have just launched their 5th generation lawnmower to help you avoid another silent night in the bedroom this year. That's you, Nast. Take care of your special snowflake with Manscaped and watch your South Pole shine like never before. Get the best stocking stuffer of all time by going to manscaped.com and using code NASTY for 20% off plus free shipping. Mrs. Claus will thank you.
Well, I think she would. And Riles, what could be better than giving a gift of good hygiene and with you a few laughs, because that beard, let's start there, is a little out of control.
Think so?
I know so. And
I don't know
am
any tools that can tackle this.
Oh, yes, you do. You have the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra.
Whew.
And we're going to be using that there. And if you want to keep Mrs. Claus happy, you're going to have to go downstairs too, because I think it's been a while for you.
You think so?
I hope not. I haven't seen, but I don't want to see. But I got a feeling you need to get down there and trim her up if you want the pole to shine.
I know you've been all over my beard, man, and I think this might be it.
Buddy.
Little holiday trim.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. We're going to go right down the middle, so you got to take it off.
Are we going to do it on pod?
Yes, we're going to do it here.
I think we should do it
Sure
real time, live
We
streaming.
Live one. That's right.
All right, get 20% off and free shipping with code NASTY at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code NASTY. Say ho, ho, ho to a well-groomed mistletoe with Manscaped. Welcome back. I'm Riley Cote.
And I'm Derek Settlemyre. And this week, Riggs, we are so happy to have a good friend of ours, luckily enough to work with him. You played with him, a former 9th round draft pick of the Philadelphia Flyers, number 286 in the 2004 NHL entry draft. Our man, Mr. Triston Grant, or better known as TBird. TBird, what's up, brother?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me on. This is it's pretty amazing. I've been watching you guys for a while, so I feel definitely honored that you guys reached out and touched base with you guys and catch up.
Yeah,
man. It's been a minute.
It's been a while. I said before we got started here. I don't know the last time I saw you, T-Bird. You've been hiding, man. You don't write, you don't call.
Yeah.
We talk about you all the time, though. It's funny, and we're like, we got to get T-Bird on here. So
I know.
so-
I went to the dark side and the west side of the league and everything, and never to come back ever again. So
I know, right? It's crazy, man. But we kept up with you and everything. It's so hard, man. So many guy, you know how it is, man. It's just tough
absolutely.
to stay in touch, and so many people like yourself. Like fuck, just when you hopped on here, I got so happy just to see you. You always came to the rink with a smile on your face. Fuck, we had some fun, man. When you came to Philly there, did we ever? Some we can't probably talk about.
Most definitely, those are secrets. They go to the grave.
They go to the grave, but it's great. It's great to see you, man. And tell us what's going on. What are you up to these days?
Yeah, not much. I'm just in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I forced myself into retirement in 2018, and it's been just kind of trying to figure out life, survive. I got I got a couple girls, just trying to pay bills and just kind of enjoy life. It's been a crazy few years for sure with the pandemic, and I got married and I got divorced and had kids, and it's been pretty hectic. It's been good, but no real complaints. We're out here standing here talking, and we're gonna have some good talks about some good times. So, and hopefully make some more in the future.
Yeah, that's right, man.
Yeah, man. Well, it's great to see you, T-Bird. It's again, it's been a minute for sure. We were roommates back.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys were roommates.
Some amazing stories and experiences, and man, I mean, we like to dig into some of that. But
yeah, absolutely.
Maybe just like you talk about working this in reverse. I mean, you retired in 2018. I believe you were on the coast. And how did the whole decision to retire kind of come about? And was it on your own terms? Was you kind of squeezed?
It was definitely not on my terms, but I think like my mind and my body made the choice up for me, I guess, without me even knowing it. My last couple of years, I had some really bad injuries, and it was really frustrating for me because like my last kind of full year that I was healthy, I kind of like a breakout kind of career year. I had some more numbers. I was kind of the fights were going down, but the goals and points production were going up. So I was really kind of excited for kind of like a new leg of maybe stretch out a couple more years of pro hockey. But then I had some bad injuries and ended up just like kind of scratching and clawing to get jobs and stuff. And then I actually got suspended. I got suspended for the rest of the season. I never played ever since. So
really?
In Quad City? Was that in Quad City?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
What'd you do?
I went into Quad Cities. We weren't a very good team, and it was pretty frustrating. Like when you see these young guys and things are just different. I wasn't healthy at all either, and this guy had kind of after they scored, I kind of like hacked this guy behind the net after he scored, and the ref never saw it. So then I went to the face-off, and then this guy comes out, and he's about 3 apples tall, and he's like taunting me to fight. So he kind of drops his gloves, and I was just like, dude, I'm not in the mood for this. So then I ended up just grabbing him, and I clocked him one good one, and he went down. And
Justin McDonald?
Yeah.
we watched that. Yeah.
That was it. That was my last hockey play ever. So, and off into the sunset I went.
You should have gone up.
Yeah, I know. I should have. I should have did one victory lap. Yeah, that was it. That was my.
That
last
was it, eh?
play. Yeah, that was it.
Man.
I know.
Wow.
I know. Not how I definitely drawn it up for sure.
Well,
so.
we were watching a bunch of clips, and and I saw that, and Riley said, "Well, maybe this guy should have, if he's lipping off like that, maybe be ready. If you're chirping and you're taunting, like you might want to be ready for that right cross coming in there."
No shit,
but,
you tagged it, man.
Nighty night, Jim Kite.
I know. He's one of those guys. He did not read the game notes during the game.
I saw you were donning the C there.
Yeah, he was confused by the captaincy.
He might have been a little confused. He might have been a little confused.
I know. What a rodeo that was. I was just like, man, I played with three different East Coast teams, and like, a year and a half, and it was just like, oh my Lord, I was just like, I got to get out of here. So, and I did. I got out alive.
You did with some street credit too there.
Yeah,
hey?
street credit.
I guess you wouldn't have known you were getting suspended for the rest of the season when you did that.
No,
what was the actual like?
Why would it be for the rest?
It was like a sucker punch. It was a sucker punch or something like that. I don't know. I was like, all right. I argued it a little bit, and I was just like, good, that's fine, whatever. I was kind of like, I was actually in Canada when I signed that contract, and my wife at the time and my child were like back here in Grand Rapids. So I was just like, man, I need to get like some immigration papers done. So I needed to be back in the country, and I was like, man, the season before I didn't really plan on playing again. I was kind of done. And I was just like, man, there's only way I'm going to get in. I'm going to have to play another contract. So I was like playing like senior A hockey like out of like my hometown for like a couple of weeks, kind of get back into it. So then I luckily signed with Quad Cities, and I got in, I got my immigration done, and that was kind of it. So it was kind of hairy the last couple of years. So it was kind of just a little disappointed. I've worked really hard to make peace with it and everything, but I was pretty grateful for those opportunities as well. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it must have been a little bit frustrating, like you spend so many years fighting and grinding, and then finally get a chance to play and put up some numbers, and thinking you're going to extend your career a little bit, and then it fucking goes down like that. But so the game is challenging, right? I mean, it's obviously only so many jobs, and always new young blood coming in these organizations, and it's a grind, man.
I remember my first trip in the East Coast. I was like 30 pounds overweight because I had a hernia surgery the year before, and it like just totally destroyed me. And I had some neck issues as well. And I think my first bus trip ever in the East Coast was from Wichita all the way to South Carolina. We're on the bus for like 32 hours.
Did you start rethinking this shit? Hang on a second.
Luckily, the only thing that really saved me, I still had some muscle relaxers and painkillers from like surgeries. And like, so I was just like, holy smokes, man. I was just like, what am I doing? It's like, all right, I got to start making an exit plan way sooner than I thought it was. So I remember one time in juniors, we did the Eastern swing when I was in Vancouver, and then like our last game was in Brandon. Then our pit stop was Robin Big Snake's reservation just outside Calgary. That was their halfway point. So that was another 28-30 hour trip too. So
was that Nipawin?
I definitely do miss those bus trips though. I miss
yeah, they're fun.
TBird, I was going to ask you, you're just talking about junior days. Were you 15 when you made it to the WHL? Were you 15 years old?
No, I was 16. Technically I was 16.
Okay.
It was a few weeks before my 17th birthday.
Oh, okay.
Seems like such a long time ago. Which it is.
Yeah, right. I just saw that you had 1 year you shared with Lethbridge and Van, so that's where I got confused because
I played in the Manitoba Junior Hockey League too when I was 16. I actually got cut from Lethbridge, then I went back and played in my hometown for the Nipawin Natives. That's what their name was at the time, and played junior A. That's a real jungle league right there.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, oh man, crazy stuff. Then I was fortunate enough that I got called up to the Western League for the remainder of the year, and never looked back. So thank God. It was crazy. A lot of cold showers in the Manitoba Junior League. So
I bet. Yeah,
water's cold.
Oh my God, there's some fucking holes of towns there. Is it Nipawin Natives chat to change their name since then?
Yeah,
probably,
I think they're the Titans now. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everyone has to change their names now.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Politically correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh man.
Well, you're coming out of junior 2005-2006 season. You joined the Phantoms, and we were just looking at that roster. Obviously, you played with Riles. What a group. I mean, holy fuck. Yeah, Josh Gratt and Ben Eager. Wade Skolny. I forgot about Scholes. He was a psychopath too when he wanted to be. Those guys get going there. I called him Deuce because he had two personalities. Such a nice guy. And he'd get in a game and I'd stick it and get going in his eyes. And obviously play with Tony Vos.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
But what a group you guys. Boy, there's some penalty minutes
Yeah.
That crew with Riley. Riley had like 259. I think the only guy more than you was Josh Gratton. And I think you, as a rookie, you had quite a bit. You had about 190, I think.
Yeah.
Which was a lot for a kid coming in. Like, you're playing against men now and expect, I don't want to say expected to fight, but you did when you had to. You knew your role just like the other guys did. But what was that like that year?
I remember my first pro fight was against Mike Scroy in the preseason game.
Oh, no way. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I just got dusted, got up and dusted myself off. And then like, oh, okay, that wasn't too bad. Then, I actually remember my very first pro game was in Wilkes-Barre. Obviously, and we talk to guys about this all the time, like how that old division used to be like. And I remember we almost had a brawl in the warm-ups, my very first pro game in Wilkes-Barre, and I was just like, holy shit, is this what this is all about? Like, I'm not sure. And I remember sitting around the roster, you, me, Gratz, all these guys, and Gratz like, you're gonna fight this guy. Then Rouse, you're gonna fight this guy. Then TBird, you fight this guy. I'm just like, okay, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Here we go. I forgot about that. We did have some shit shows with them in Hershey.
Oh yeah, the Dennis Bondby must have been there.
Yeah,
David Kochi.
Yeah, they had a tough team. They had Bissonette was there, and Bone Doctor, like Cartner was there too. Carcillo, like
man, it's different era for sure.
Yeah, I know.
I remember. I can't remember his name. He was the radio guy, and he did the PR stuff for Scranton. I can picture him right now, and my mind's going blank because I'm so damn old. But I remember watching. There was I don't know if it was a year you were there. It might have been the year before T-Bird, but Max Talbot was playing, and we had a 5-on-5, and the poor bastard ended up with Eags. And
I remember
the guy, the gentleman that did the radio was just like Jack Edwards. When I'm from Boston, Bruins never lose a fight. They could get knocked out cold, and he changes it somehow. And this guy always did that, but it was one of the funniest things ever. Eags is just pounding poor Max. He's got no chance. And he goes, and Ben Eager is absolutely feeding Max Talbot. And he never said anything like that. It was so fucking funny. I'll never forget that. Even Johnny Stevens was like, I can't believe he said that.
Oh,
because
yeah.
But anyway, yeah, you guys were all tough and came to play every night. But what a crew, man.
Yeah.
Some place you might remember, McDaniels with our boy Danny Moore. We put some time in there.
Probably some of my longer shifts I had in my career.
Definitely longer shifts there than on the ice. That's for sure.
I know exactly, right? Never had to change. Never had to come off the ice.
No,
I know. No. It was like, so many great times. This is like smallest hole in the wall. Play the same kind of cliche music every night. Every time we were there, it's always a Sunday night.
Yeah,
it's a lot of shenanigans, a lot of good times.
Oh yeah,
I tell you, when I think back, my Phantom days, man, that is like, it's one of the first things that comes to my mind because we did it every Sunday night.
Yeah,
no matter what, we were there, and it was like, you remember that place? It'd get going around 10. It was like they dropped off a school bus of women. And girls, this place is packed, and you're like, I just remember thinking, obviously we always had the day off the next day, or you guys did, but I'm like, do people work? Like, what the fuck is going on here? We're closing that place down at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. some nights.
Yeah,
does anyone work? And then Danny's back there behind the bar. This guy, he just was nonstop. He still is. I see him a lot this summer down at the shore, still doing his thing. Oh yeah, doing a little jiu-jitsu too.
Oh, awesome! No, it's so strange because we always had the classic 3-3 in the minors. Yeah. You play home Friday, you go to like Hershey or Wilkes-Barre Saturday night, then you come back for afternoon game on Sunday. Then you limp your way into the bar there. Then it's this absolute time collapse and everything. It's just like
unbelievable, man.
Everyone just having a great time. Just good, clean fun.
Yeah. Woo.
And it was absolutely crammed in there.
Yeah,
like, wall to wall.
Yeah.
Jammed with people just having.
It was awesome.
having a time. Hey, T-Bird, I was thinking too, to talk about the origins of your nickname T-Bird, because I believe it was in Albany on the bench, was it not, with John Stevens?
Yeah, I was. Well, because it was like Gratz and Grant was so similar. So I was just like, I was just like, hey, can you call me something else? He's like, oh, what do they call me? He's like, I don't know. And Johnny, just like kind of on the spot, he's like, oh, T-Bird. What's a guy named T-Bird? It's like, hey, T-Bird, you're up. It was kind of like that. And then,
It was, right?
Yeah.
it's as simple as that. I don't know. I've been called a lot of worse names, but yeah, it's stuck ever since. It's been on my sticks ever since. So
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
T-Bird.
Grant, Gratz.
Yeah.
Oh, T-Bird. Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
yeah,
It's amazing how it stuck too.
I know.
I
It
was,
never went away. So
we were looking at the rosters, from a couple of years there, and Jimmy Campbell, Soupy, came up, and what a beauty. I haven't talked to him in a few years. He used to text me a lot when I was still with the team with the Flyers, and he'd be coming into town with some guys for games. He'd come say what's up, but never forget he got suspended. I think we were in Canada on a Canada trip, and he got suspended, and we go back for our next home game. I'm sure you remember, and Flex is the mascot, and so boys are waiting to walk down the tunnel, and here comes Flex, goes out there. He's got the flag. Start looking at this guy. The guy that was Flex was about 5'8". Jimmy was about 6'3", so the fucking thing was too small. And it's Soupy. He took the Flex cause, and remember Johnny.
Oh,
he didn't laugh
was
too
livid.
much, but he even was like,
I think he was upset at first.
He was at
because
first.
him and Soupy were going at it.
Yeah,
like,
they
there
were.
was some,
and then
some beef going on.
afterwards, I was like, Johnny, that's fucking funny, man. Come on. And he's like, yeah, I guess it's pretty good. But you can tell Jimmy's stride, too.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, it
Coming
was a pro stride.
It was.
Flex is, stumbling around out there.
It's
There was a
what
lot of-
beauty.
there was a lot of relics that came through in that, like those short, like 3 years. Because there's just a lot of veterans too at that time, and I don't recall like the rule at that time, but yeah, there was a lot of like guys that were still hanging around and like, ooh. And yeah, Soupy was one of those guys for sure. Lots of character.
We got him in a trade. I can't remember who we got him in a trade for, but I remember him coming and this guy, he's true Boston. Like,
Oh, yeah.
so funny, man. But yeah, I thought about that as soon as I saw his name. I was like, oh my God, I kind of forgot about the old Flex situation. And we had old Mark pass the Cavossier. remember Cabby or whatever we called him? Like, he was a beauty too. We were kind of talking about him earlier. Jamie's store. He did some things that made me sit down and think once in a while. Some of the shit that came out of his mouth.
He was my roommate on the road for a little bit too, man.
Uh-oh.
It was like daddy daycare going.
Who was taking care of who?
Yeah, exactly.
We gotta get stories out, because I was seeing him a lot when I was still with the team out in LA. He's out there doing his goalie coaching. I think he's got a school or whatever. But I always liked him, man. He was wild. He was pretty wild. It was a
He was
wild
a different
crew.
cat.
Yeah, he was a different cat. Bunch of different guys there on that team, man.
Absolutely.
Were you on the squad when Tony Vos, TiVo, got shipped away to eventually Grand Rapids when they kicked him off the team?
I did, yeah. When Shell was the coach and everything. Oh yeah, there's like David versus Goliath, man, in Heights, Texas.
Oh my God.
Oh man, I was just like, that was such a, yeah. Looking back now, it just kind of makes me cringe. Like, kind of like that was kind of a tough season for sure.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's kind of went off the handle and everything. I think the organization in whole was kind of just struggling and
They were that
Oh,
year,
yeah.
because that was the worst year in 40, and it was the 40th season of the Flyers, and it was their worst hitch.
Yeah.
Fire.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because Chief ended up coming down back to the Flyers, and then Sammy ended up being the head coach there.
yeah. And that
Right.
was just that was rough. Everyone's just grumpy. But looking back now, I was like, what's there to be grumpy about?
Exactly.
You know.
Did you Lars Johnson was there with you, right? For a little bit. Was Lars there? Lars Johnson,
Yeah.
the D-man?
Oh yeah.
I was telling a story yesterday, T-Bird. I used to come down when Chief was coaching you guys before he came back. Every morning I'd come down and have a coffee with him. And, like you walk through the doors at the Phantom's Inn, and you look right into Chief's office. Like he's sitting right there. So the door's open, and Riles has heard me tell this 100 times, but Lars comes cruising in, just looks hung hung to the titters, man. Like this guy's so hungover. He was living in the city. He's got a big
dipper.
fucking lipper in, and he comes walking in and, hey, nasty morning, Chief. Chief goes, hey, Lars. And he's like, stops. He's like, yeah. He goes, I was thinking last night. He's like, what were you thinking? He goes, you should quit hockey. You're awful. Chief says that to Lars. And I just start dying laughing. I'm like, Jesus. And Lars starts laughing. He goes, okay, Chief. And just walked away.
You're so laid back.
Just so he didn't give two fucks, man. He says, you're awful. You should quit.
Man. I had him for Secret Santa one year, so I went and bought this biggest, thickest book ever. And I had I wrote like the Three Little Pigs on it because his English was, it just took him forever to get her to roll out a sentence.
Yeah.
No one really got it. It was a little bit like went over his head a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was Lars. Yeah.
Oh man.
T-Bird, were you around when Dennis Telpeko? Remember Dennis, obviously.
Yeah.
I think he was out with a few of the guys on the team, smoked a little weed, got super stoned, freaked out, called Jimmy McCrossen. And then, do you remember that?
I do. Briefly.
And then the next day, obviously Jimmy called Homer, and then, basically like directly or indirectly, he's landed up suing, a couple of guys on the team, and Homer come down to the hallway and said, basically, I know a couple of you guys are smoking weed. I'll be up in my office. You come in and turn yourself in. Do you remember that going down?
I do.
Oh man,
poor Dennis.
I was gonna say, like, single-handedly did he just like sewer himself? Obviously,
dismantled
the squad. Yeah, right.
Yeah. For sure.
Oh man,
I can't remember if I went up or not. Probably not. I never liked going into Homer's office. It's never good.
No, yeah.
Usually not.
You're certainly not gonna turn yourself in. We're smoking with the boys.
No, for sure. Exactly not. You're gonna have to prove it. I think the first time there wasn't a lot of good meetings with Homer for sure. Oh man, yeah, Dennis, just had a complete meltdown, panic attack.
I was like, dude, because I ended up talking to him after. I was like, man, what are you doing? Like, either smoke a little less or just like let it. Yeah, I don't know. Like, you're not dying, man. Buddy. You don't call the trainer and tell him you're freaking out on devil's lettuce. Like.
I remember we were talking about this too, T-Bird, when you and Riggs were living together, and I think it was a Sunday, day off. I guess we were probably going out later or something, but it was actually a day off that we didn't have a game because it was daytime. And Riggs was like, let's eat some mush and then, come over to be a T-Bird. We're going to eat. So I was like, all right. So I head over to the apartment over in Voorhees, and I can hear this fucking music just blaring. Motley Crue. I think it was Motley Crue. Yeah. So I fucking banging on the fucking door. I could barely hear Roy and Rain. Yeah. The fucking dogs. They were like rats chirping, and Riles opens up, and I could tell he was on Pluto. And I'm like, you guys wait on me? I'm like, where's T-Bird? He goes, in his room. And about an hour later, you came out, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Just listening to music, bro. This fucking sounds so good. And I'm like, you guys couldn't even wait on me, man? Like, what the
You're excited, Naz.
I know. So I just sat there and watched you guys and didn't even eat any mush.
No?
I don't think I did. Well, you guys were so ahead of me. I didn't want to fucking start.
It would have taken a while to catch up.
Yeah, it would have. But you love 80s music, huh? Like, you love that because like you said, at the bar.
Oh, absolutely. No, I still do. I always crank it like my kids, like, they don't always listen to this kid stuff anymore. And every once in a while I was like, no, we're not going to listen to that. We're going to listen to Hair Nation today.
Yeah.
Hair Nation.
And as soon as like my 2-year-old to get the head bob and right hits it right. So.
Yeah, that's right. They like it. That's all right.
No, it's good. No, I actually remember that day quite well.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
That was crazy. That like we drove down to the shore to get those.
Right. That was the one, right?
Yeah. And we had like a big serious warning. It's like, whatever you do, don't just wait till you get home to take these. So we get like 15 minutes out heading back home. We got like an hour drive. Riles, you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna take them. I'm like, all right, how much should we take? He's like, I'm gonna take all of them, and I know we crushed a couple beers with him as too. And at that point, I think I did mushrooms once before. And then, I don't know, an hour drive turned into like 2.5 to get home. Like,
a couple pit stops. So we got lost, I think.
Pit stops, like, yeah.
But it was funny as hell. You got lost, but you were laughing your ass off.
It was a wild adventure. I remember the energy. We were like doing push-ups and like air punches and
sweat on and everything. That was great. I remember I called my uncle, man, and I told him what's going on. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's fun." Oh man.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. So 2006-07, you get your first call up to NHL, and you ended up playing, I think, 8 games that year with the Flyers. But you remember your first tilt? You remember your first tilt in NHL?
I do, yeah.
Andrew Peters, you had a pretty good damn showing too.
Yeah,
pretty tough man. He was established.
Yeah, he was a tough guy. I later played with Pistol when I was in Rochester momentarily too, and everything. He was a great guy.
Oh, did you really? Oh,
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was in Rochester for a hot minute. Yeah, and actually I played with his older brother too in Milwaukee, Jeff. So yeah, Andrew was a great guy. I've been trying to actually talk to Jeff a couple months ago. He randomly called me, and I was like, "How's your brother doing?" I owe him a phone call, and he's one of the nicest guy. But it was kind of, how it's funny how those stories come like full circle. You have your first NHL fight, and you're hanging out with this guy. I've had a couple beers with him and everything. He's a great human. So a huge human, big man.
He's a big man. Yeah.
Yeah, Riles had a couple tillies with him too. Actually,
super friendly though. Like as you mentioned, I don't know him, off the ice besides a couple conversations, but yeah, he was always like,
he's a big goof. He's a big goof. Yeah, good heart. Yeah, big tough guy though.
Yeah.
Sorry, knuckleheads, for the quick break, but we have a very important message from our sponsors from Game Time. Riles, when you're going to buy tickets for a concert or a game, any sporting event, you ever had a time when it's been frustrating?
Oh, yeah. I remember getting ripped off for tickets one time.
I've had the same thing happen to me, and I'll tell you what, that's one thing you shouldn't have to worry about when you're buying tickets for your next big event. Game Time is a fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy. They have killer last-minute deals, all prices, views from your seat. They do everything for you, and the best price guaranteed.
Without any worry about getting shafted.
Exactly. The good thing about Game Time, Riggs, is they are obsessed with finding ways to help you save money on tickets. With Game Time, they even have deals on tickets right up to the beginning of an event, even an hour into it, if you, for some reason, you want last-minute tickets for something. And the one great thing is you get the Game Time guarantee, which means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference.
Wow, what a deal.
It's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Riggs, you're going to have to take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code NASTY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code NASTY, N-A-S-T-Y, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. And that's gametime.co.
Let's get your tickets, Nast.
Do it. I also saw it, which I was kind of shocked. I was telling Riles, so you fucking fought Nasty Marasti. You had a tilly with him. And I think it was an NHL preseason game.
Yeah,
if
it was
I'm
a
not
preseason
mistaken.
game.
Dude,
Yeah.
you guys went for about a minute straight. What did
Yeah.
like his head? Is it just as hard as like a block wall? Like, I mean,
it's like a fortified giant cantaloupe with brass casings on it.
yeah.
I actually
Jesus.
fought him in the Western League for the first time too. When I was 16, he was in Tri-Cities, and all the 20-year-olds like, I was just a young guy. I was like fearless. I didn't know any better. I was like, hey, you're gonna fight Nasty Marasti. He's like, who's that? So then I look at the game sheets. I see him in warm-ups. This guy's like 5'5", like.
Yeah, I know.
So I ended up fighting him, and I actually had like a quite similar fight in junior hockeys as I did in that preseason game. But like in that preseason game, I think that was I think that was in. I don't know if that was in Nashville or Columbus, but before the game, Barry Trotz he's like, "Don't fight this guy." I'm like, "What am I supposed to do, Barry?"
Yeah, I know.
right?
Yeah.
It's like I'm not going to put up 3 on the power play today. Like,
Are you putting me on the power play, Barry?
Yeah.
Chauncey, am I on the PP today? Because if I am, that's a different story.
It was it was great. Yeah, he's a great what a tough guy.
Yeah.
He's super tough.
I don't know. I just get a laugh. I don't know if you watch that show, Shorzy.
Oh yeah, I just finished it like last week because I was dying to watch it. It was a pretty funny show, and my relationship, like my short senior career, I was just like, that's pretty accurate. So,
is it really? Because I know.
Well, like the caliber isn't as good. Like, in Manitoba, there's a couple good teams of senior league in Manitoba, but yeah, it's pretty. A lot of shenanigans for sure to say the least. So
because I know Pistol Pete Vandermeer plays still, and I know Ryan Bass. I'm not sure if you ever played with Beast. You probably remember him as a player, but Ryan Bass was playing last time I saw him still. He said it's pretty competitive, but he's out in Edmonton. He's out there.
Yeah.
But
I got called like I think the year after retired, a team out of Winnipeg was trying to recruit me to go play because they're trying to load up for the Allen Cup.
Yeah.
That's a big tournament. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But that was hilarious. I played with Dolo too. I had him as a rookie.
Really?
No way.
Yeah.
No way. Oh my God. That's
it's so
great,
crazy
man.
seeing him on the show now and everything. But
I know
his character is pretty accurate to what he was as a player.
Really?
As a person, yeah.
Yeah. That's hilarious, man.
Yeah.
What's his name? Nolan.
Jordan Nolan.
Yeah, Jordan Nolan is on there, man. And I'm like, and he's like, there's 3. You haven't. This guy hasn't watched it yet, but Nasty Marassi's one of the gyms. There's 3 gyms.
Yeah.
And they all want to be called Jim. So they're like Jim, and Nolan speaks the most. Like it's so.
He's the
funny.
most intelligent Jim.
Well, Nasty Marassi just goes, "Yep" or "Nope."
Yeah.
He doesn't really talk, but he's in the whole thing. But it just makes me laugh because I remember we had a game at the skate zone against Norfolk, and they were loaded. They were tough. They had all those guys, and Nasty Marassi was at camp with them. And we had a 5-on-5. Litz started it. Neil Little started it. And it was a 5-on-5, and he ended up grabbing poor BJ Abel.
Oh, yeah.
And luckily for B, he's right out of college. Right? He's probably never been in a scrap in his life. Like BJ, I love him. He's an accountant or something.
Right.
He's crunching numbers, but he grabs him, and it was right at the bench. And I'm just like, I remember people talking about Nasty Marassi. I'd never seen him, but I knew about him. And I'm like, oh no, we're going to be taking poor BJ off in a stretcher here. And Marassi started jerking around, and BJ must have, his eyes were probably this big, and he actually let him off the hook. He goes, you ever done this? And he's like, no. And he goes, just hang on. And he let him off the hook. And he could have hurt,
oh, for sure.
And he's trying to make the team. He could have beat the shit out of it because BJ dropped his gloves like a dummy. I ought to have had my stick out here.
Oh, man.
But I'll never forget that. But I saw one of your fights with him. I was like, wow, I didn't even realize that you played against him.
I played junior with him.
You
Nasty.
did? Oh, I didn't.
For a year, yeah, man. I mean, talk about it.
Really? How did I not know that?
Yeah, man. For a full year. Yeah, he was. I think he was maybe even 17 years old, but he fought like the Steve McIntyres. He fought the biggest dudes you ever imagined. Just loved it.
How
I've
can
never
he
seen a guy love
still?
fighting more than this guy.
I don't know. You can tell.
Love. Like,
who's that Jablonski guy? Isn't that his cousin or something? They must have had 50 fights. They fought in an outdoor game in Syracuse.
Oh.
It was fucking -10.
Oh.
Yeah, blow for blow, I'm sure.
Oh, it was blow for blow. You can see it on YouTube. But anyway, you also I saw on your fight card, Revo.
Oh yeah,
Ryan Reeves. You had a really good fight with him. I think he was with St. Obviously, it was St. Louis.
Yeah, he was in Peoria. He was young.
Peoria.
He was young. He wasn't fully bloomed yet.
Yeah, you taught him the old-fashioned way. It looked like.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just like giving a good old-fashioned ass whooping and then send him on his way.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, it's so funny. Ironically, I had old GM, Ryan Martin, he sent me, he didn't send me the video, but he's like, I never seen this fight of you before. It's like, this is amazing. Some of his players, he's assistant GM of New York, and he's just like, oh, that's awesome stuff. And, he's like, Revo's like the big dog now and everything. And I was just like, yeah, it was different times back then. And, experience goes a long way. So yeah, there was a lot of tough guys, a lot of tough guys, a lot of guys I kind of wish I never did, but
Yeah, right.
You survived for sure.
It's a tough job what you guys did, man. I'll tell you that, man. It's we have a lot of guys on to talk about it. Riley talks about it a lot, but not an easy job, man.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I think the hardest thing, like towards the end of my career, like when you're like the older guy, and then all these young guys full of piss and vinegar, like, oh, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Then you got to really be on your toes because like there's no history. You don't know what this guy can do. You don't know what he's capable of, and that's what, like, it's different when you go play against like a division guy, like say like someone like Dennis Bonvie. You see him every other 2 weeks, and you could see what his tendencies are, what his patterns and everything. But like when these new guys come in, like you don't know anything, and especially like my biggest like fear was like getting fined was like losing fights because you don't only let down yourself, you let down your teammates.
Yeah,
like that was the greatest. So then like you definitely don't want to lose to like one of these young pups, because exactly how it is, because the roles were reversed at one point in your career. So that gets tough. Like remember, like the longer you play. And then like these younger guys are coming up, they're chomping at the bit is the same way that we were. So, it comes, the full circle of life and everything. But that's when it's really, really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I didn't get a chance to really experience that. I landed up retiring in 28, and because I saw the writing on the wall, it's probably gonna get sent down and dealing with exactly what you're talking about. I mean, it's got to be challenging. Like a completely different mindset. Like when you're the up and comer, like. You talk about being fearless. Like you're willing to do anything, fight anybody, no questions asked. And even if you lose, it's like you're unfazed by it. But as you get older, I remember, challenging older guys, and you could just see it. Like they're not scared of you, but they're like, they certainly don't want to be dusting it up as often as, we were at a young age. But like, there's that fear. Yeah. It's like it's the pride. It's like I really don't want to be doing this. And, these guys, you have to learn how to pick your spots a little bit better. But I mean, I can imagine how tough that got to be because you were on the other side, as you mentioned, like always wanting to scrap, always challenging the other guy. Now you're the guy that's like that you were getting frustrated with that was turning you down. Like, no, I'm not fighting you, and now you're like, it's a completely different mindset. And I think this is when guys I wouldn't say get hurt, but like, like you're no longer like in that, that prime fighting shape mentally and physically. And like you said, like you're not even sure what some of these guys are coming with.
Yeah. No, towards like, yeah, like you hit it right in the head there. Cause like the level of anxiety I had, like towards the end of my career, you're just like, you've probably been tagged a couple times at this point. Like you've been, physically hurt, but like, yeah, for me, like mentally, it was just like, I remember like I remember you and me, like you get like, hammer a couple power gels, you're drinking Red Bulls and taking some Sudafeds to get any kind of edge to get up for these fights and stuff like that. And it was so much easier back then. Now you're just like, you come to the rink and like, oh, okay, like, what am I gonna do to survive today? And like, I just want to play. I remember Dennis Bonvie. You would always meet before the games in the hall, and he'd be like, I don't know if I'm gonna go tonight, boys. I was
getting ready to say that. It's so funny you said that.
And then like, sure enough, like you finish a check on me, you'd be like, motherfuckers, you didn't
let's
fight
go.
This guy.
Oh yeah, right around.
Exactly what he in the hallway.
Wheels falling off the carriage.
Yeah, he's like, boys, my hand. Look at my hands. The shoulder's gone. Shoulder's gone. Fucking second shift, Eddie.
Yeah, he's an exception to the rule though, Bones. He was an exception to the rule though. This guy, he secretly loved it, just like Veracity. Like he couldn't help himself.
He did it for a long time.
Oh my god!
Like, I'd like to know how many actual fights he had pro.
Oh man, he had like 300 PIMs plus every year. Like
but you're right,
30
though,
fights
T-Bird.
a year.
Yeah. I was gonna say that, but it's so funny you brought that because he would be like, "Yeah, the wheels are falling off, boys."
I remember using those same tactics when I was in those two. I was just like, "Ooh, I don't know, like a little jersey burn on my neck. I don't think I'm gonna go tonight, boys."
Oh my arm.
We had some really tough teams in Milwaukee too. We had like Scott Ford, Nolan Yonkman. We had like a young, Kelsey Wilson. There's me, and they're like that. Surprisingly, like it's funny because guys I played with that came into the Spectrum, I was like, man, you have no idea how intimidating it was. It was like one of the last rinks. He actually drove into the gates of hell into the Spectrum with the bus and everything. And it's like you guys had always had loaded up teams with like meatheads and everything, and it was just like you get the Philly flu and it's like those are my funnest teams that I played on for sure.
I remember Ryan Reddy. We had Ryan Reddy, and whoever his buddy was the captain of Cincinnati. And make a long story short, they were on their 3rd and 3. They come in on Sunday night, and he's telling Ryan Reddy. He says, man, he's like, before the game, they were chit-chatting, and he says, dude, we came in here, it was like 3 a.m. The fucking building's dark. It looks like there's blood and scratches on the wall, which obviously there's
like
not.
Haunted, yeah,
it's
right.
like everybody's like carrying their bags and they're fucking already scared. And he says before the game, he goes, boys, 3rd and 3 nights, fucking mind your business. They got all these guys down here, fucking nothing stupid. Let's play the game. Get the fuck out of here. So he says first shift, some rookie fucking runs somebody. Josh Gratton's fucking smoke's coming out. So it's just all these fights. And he says, I can't remember who the captain was of that team, but he says he goes into the room and he just flips the table over. You dumb motherfuckers. You woke them up. It's Sunday at 5. We've had 4 fights. I said, don't do anything. But you're right about that Spectrum, man. Guys, we've had other guys say like it was an intimidating place to play. For sure.
Yeah, I definitely feel blessed to play in that rink. It's funny. Like I remember I scored my first pro goal there and everything too. And, it was just it's nothing else like it. It was a sad day when I heard that they blew it down.
It was tough to watch that, man. I grew up. My dad was the trainer with the Flyers, so I mean, I was in that building from the time I was 6 years old up till when the Phantoms left and they knocked it down. It was tough to see, but great building. People right on top of you, like right on the ice. And I remember our first cup we won in 97, 98. I mean, it was sold out 17,380, and I mean, it was loud, man. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But speaking of winning the cup, you won the Calder Cup in 2012-13. What a team you guys had there. I was like looking at your roster, man. You had Nyquist, Tatar, I think Riley Sheehan, Mrazza. We had him here in Philly a few years ago. He's still going, man. He's playing well in Chicago. But tell us a little bit about that. That must have been unbelievable because we were lucky enough to do it a couple times.
Yeah, I know. No, that was pretty sweet. We kind of, I don't know. Like, yeah, I got called like July 1st to go sign with them. So I did. I was just like, I always liked playing in Grand Rapids and being in Milwaukee. Like, I always loved playing Grand Rapids. It's a great, I knew it was a great city. They had good fan base and everything. So you're playing against a lot of like kids or college kids and people every night. And I saw there's a couple other veteran guys that I actually played with or battled against the years before that. But that was a lockout year as well. I think there was a lockout halfway. I think there was a
halfway. Yeah, the halfway one. That's right.
Yeah, so that was there's a lot of talent, and not only in the American League that year, and guys like Nyquist and Anderson, but Jeff Blashill was a fresh new coach and everything, and man, I think we started the season like 2-7 or something like that, and we kind of just turned it on, and it was a great group of guys. We had like a lot of cliques. We had the older guys here. We had like the Czech Mafia over here and everything. Then we had the young and dumb guys over here. But like when it was game time and it was really time to like settle in and get along, and it was just we all bind, and it was a great guy. We had a great team off ice antics where everyone was always involved, and that was like one of the best teams I ever played for sure. Played with a lot of good groups, but man, a lot of good players too. Raz is still in his head. He was a great goalie. I think he got sent down to the coast out of camp.
Wow.
He played in all 3 leagues. I'm pretty sure he played in all 3 leagues that year. I think he played in the East Coast and the NHL and the American League. So,
jeez.
Just winning it. I never won before. you know, like it was pretty crazy. I think we played 100 games that year with
Wow.
regular season and playoffs and everything. It was definitely a grind. I think I had the craziest playoff beard, and I think our last game was like June 22nd or something like that. It was just
Was it better than Dogs, our boy?
No.
Dog's got the beard, eh? He's like
Yeah, he
kind of
does.
like you're trying to catch Riggs. I'm gonna shave this fucking thing off, TBird. He's gonna kill me. I'm gonna take this thing and just zip
Try
it.
it.
But yeah, nothing beats winning. You know, it was such a good time, man. It's like you know, that's what I probably miss the most out of hockey is playing like the very, you know, meaningful games. You know, the big games. You know, whether you're trying to get into playoffs or, you know, maybe putting a heater. You know, putting a heater on or winning a championship. It's like those are the nerve-wracking games that I remember. Like I remember, like, you know, like, but there was like 11 seconds left. We're in Syracuse and you know, we're up a couple goals, and like when you finally realize like you're about to win, you're like, it's like a feeling that I never had before, and it was pretty.
Right.
It was a pretty fun ride. We just had a great group of guys, and yeah, it was an unbelievable experience. So
You guys went up 3-rip, right? You went up 3-0 and you lost the next 2, where you're like, we're fucking in one here. Like that's a little nerve-wracking. You
it
run
was
off 3.
because, I think with the travel went 2-3-2.
Yeah.
So So
You had
that.
no, you're right. It was 2-3-2. You had a chance to win it at home twice.
Yeah,
you went
twice.
up
We
3
lost.
nothing. I know, and I
know.
saw that. I saw that today when I was looking. I was like, oh man, you imagine your nuts. The guy's nuts must have just been BBs, man.
Oh
yeah,
you
you're up
like
3-rip. You never know.
Van Andel's just absolutely packed. There's like this standing room only, and it was this buzzing and everything. And I remember everyone was pretty pissed off because everyone's kind of had things lined up, you know, like, hey, what we're gonna do after the game after we fucking win, you know, like
exactly.
Then we had to hop on. We actually took the Red Wings plane into Syracuse.
Oh, that's nice. That's
nice. So we did that. So then actually when we won. We took the plane back. So we're back in Grand Rapids within an hour. And that year I did the old cliche, like, you know, hey, stop the bus. Do you remember to pack the 2 points? So I did the same thing for when we had the Calder Cup. I got on the phone and the telephone. And I'm yelling at the pilot, stop the plane. Did you remember to pack the fucking Calder Cup? And everyone's just going screaming, and the stewardess are like, oh, he can't get off the phone.
Get off the phone, It might be. Now we know you can use the phone.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
exactly. Just buzzing the tower and everything. Yeah, it was fun. Like we got like this little like police escort back when we got into Grand Rapids, and this like the party like this started for a good couple weeks anyways. So it was a good time. Time.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. How different is it playing the exact same sport on a winning team versus an average or below average team, and just like the grind and just like how different of a mindset it is, hey? Especially when you're tilling it up every other game. They're just like being on those situations are just it's tough, man, isn't it?
It is tough. I was lucky. I played on a couple good teams. You know, we had good teams in Milwaukee, and the year I was in Oklahoma City, we lost the conference finals too. So we had some really good teams, but there's some teams like I was in Rochester. We were just absolutely awful, like, and just terrible. And it's just like I used to love like being, you know, one of the first guys to the rank, but during those years, they really test like it's like, how much do you really love this game?
Yeah, right.
Sometimes it is tough. It sucks. You gotta, you know, you got some, you know, and it spreads like a virus very quickly because, you know, if you're grumpy, you know, there's a handful of other guys that are grumpy too because no one likes to be on a shitty team and things aren't going your way. Usually if you're a bad team, like someone's letting in too much goals, you're not getting any points, or like guys are hurt, and it's just like, yeah, it's a drag. It's tough. It's tough for sure. So, but you can't have good years without bad years. So
that's right.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it is what it is. So it's nature of the beast.
That's it. Well, we talked a little bit about your first NHL fight and your first, say 8 games in the NHL. I mean, can you just talk about, like, obviously your dream growing up was to play in the NHL. You're drafted by the Flyers. I mean, you were a tough guy in juniors. You transitioned to the pro level. Just like how meaningful that was for you and your dream. Yeah,
no, it was pretty crazy. You know, like, you know, it was. I just remember for the longest time, it was such a, I feel even to this day I'm blessed. And at the times you kind of feel like, you know, it kind of came up a little bit short here and there, but like, that's when I really realized when I was playing the last couple of years, like these guys have been playing in, you know, the minors, you know, or like even like the East Coast for 8-9 years, and they never had, you know, like a game in the NHL, or you play with guys like that just never really got a sniff. And you know, I know those guys would do anything in the world to get the opportunity I had, and I feel really happy I got the opportunity to do that. You know, my parents came down, my uncle came down, you know, like it was a pretty special moment. I remember when Homer came down the hall, and you know how the setup was. He's like, all right, you walk through the doors. He's like, all right, now I'm in the NHL. You know,
Yeah, I know, right?
You walk 10 feet into another door and you're in NHL.
The other time when I got
stuff.
called up to Nashville, it's like almost like a panic. You got to get undressed. You got to go run to the apartment, go pack a bag, make sure you got everything, get to the airport, you know, like,
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty amazing experience for sure. And I feel really blessed. I have a lot of friends that never got an opportunity to play even one game. I know, like, you know, 30 years ago, someone said like, hey, you could either play 0 games or 1 game. Like, what are you know, what are you going to choose? You're going to choose one every time. So it was crazy. And I was lucky I played long enough. You know, I had, you know, played for 12, 13 years. And, you know, it's not bad for a guy who was like, you know, the last draft pick. And I remember that, I remember the first summer camp I did in Philadelphia. I got on the plane, and yeah, I'm like 18, 19 years old. And I remember, like, once everyone got gathered up, I think there was like 30 of us players there. Jim McCrossen's like, all right, it's the end of July. No excuses. We're going to do like a 5-mile run. You got to do under 35 and a half minutes. And I was just like, at that point, I was just like, well, I don't think I really want to play hockey that
bad. I'm bowing out.
I remember that. And so I remember that. And for somehow, the hands of God, I think I got in with like 35 minutes flat or something. Somehow I did. But I was hurting. But I remember that. It was like the survival of the fittest. It's like guys were dropping pretty quick after that. And
yeah.
That was kind of the beginning of that, of my career. I was like, all right, do you really want to play hockey? So
now it's the last thing they want you doing is pounding on cement for 5 fucking miles.
I know.
Like, sprints, and
it was a different animal back then. They were just trying to get guys to break. It didn't matter. It had nothing to do with hockey. Yeah.
Oh, I know. I needed it for sure. Like, I think when I lost like 15 pounds during that week of there, I'm like one of the last guys standing. Just beat this shit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we had to do that, like that 3-mile run and stuff. Oh,
yeah.
It was a challenge, man.
Those runs and stuff. Even like when I obviously I didn't play hockey like you guys did professionally, but like even in soccer, basketball, it's the mental part of it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I gotta do it. I gotta make it. Fuck yourself up.
The build up, yeah.
Just,
wasted energy.
You know, it's wasted energy.
Totally.
Worrying about it. I work with a junior team here, Philadelphia Rebels in the North American Hockey League, and they had to do a run this year, and it was a tough one. It ended up being 3 miles in a certain amount of time, and they were more worried, just the mental aspect of it. I'm like, you guys gotta like stop looking at it. Like, I know what you're thinking. I was there in college and stuff, but and they're running without headphones. I'm like, put some damn earbuds in so you don't hear yourself, breathing so fucking hard. Because I even did it back then, and we had a cassette,
Oh, cassette, yeah, right.
Put your heads up, but that way you couldn't hear yourself breathing.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's stuff. It's not as bad now.
Well, no, I mean it's
different testing.
Yeah, different.
Anyway.
It's all on ice for the most part for the conditioning part, anyways.
Exactly.
The Tortorella.
You wouldn't want to be in the Tortorella first day of training camp. These guys look like they're gonna die.
Yeah,
they're dead.
You might want to go do the 5-mile run.
Yeah, you might rather do the run than what he's doing.
Yeah, I heard it's tough. It's not a cakewalk.
No, that's for sure.
Did you watch hockey anymore?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I try to for sure. Yeah, it's I usually go to Grand Rapids games for sure, but I haven't been able to get down there this year yet. But I went to last year. I went to a couple games, and like I don't know, like I'm not saying this because I spent majority of my career in the American League, but I don't know, the product was just so, I don't know, wasn't great. There's not really a lot of passion. Not because there isn't any fights or anything like that, but it's just like I've heard a lot of other coaches say this too. Is it's like, yeah, it's more like a glorified junior league at times with the minors and everything. So I don't really. I'll get to some more games this year, but yeah, I still love it. We still meet up with some couple buddies. We have a couple beers and watching some games online, and it's great. It's so fast now. I'm just kind of hurting my hamstrings just kind of watching it now. But it's great.
Yeah.
It's nice to see like the Flyers are doing better, and there's some teams that are it's good. Like I was like I love McDavid. I'm still I actually went to I was in Vegas when Washington won the Cup too. I went to that game.
Way.
So like I'm still going for Ovi and like Sid. I still love those guys because those are guys like from my era. Like those are my those are the best players from my time. So I'm still cheering those guys on, and I love seeing them have success, and it's pretty neat to be somewhat of a part of that, and I still love it. So.
Yeah, speaking of that, them winning the Cup there, I think TBird was beside that woman that you see up against the glass. Is that you, TBird?
Yeah.
Remember that? I was like, whoa, wait a minute here. I don't think
that
Bird
cost
was
me a
there.
lot of money.
They didn't toss you out, though. They didn't toss you out.
No.
Oh, man, I'm kidding, but. Yeah, I tell you what, Sidney Crosby's still doing it, man. It's crazy. Yeah. They just played the Flyers last 2 games here back to back. Flyers actually beat them both times, but Sid manages to score every time he's in Philly. I'll tell you what, man, he's just a hell of a player. It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun. I'm a big McDavid fan as well, and still hate the Maple Leafs, so I'm still.
Yeah, McDavid's got a stride. I compare him to you a lot when we're talking. Like
open ice.
Speed. Yeah.
I think mine's just a tad longer and quicker. We're the same transfer.
Yeah, same build, same.
God.
Yeah,
same length.
T-Bird. The first time I saw him live, obviously playing against us, dude, it just doesn't make sense how fast. This guy goes like there's a few guys like that in the league, but he's just his hands go as fast.
Well, that's it, right?
I mean,
your hands
it's
keep up with
insane,
that speed.
But
like when I stick handled, the puck was square by the time I was in into the shift.
Oh yeah.
Well, you should see this guy just lights up men's league now. Like he's a lover. Fucking numbers guy. He's only played 2 games this season. I think he's still leading the league, and he only played 2.
You don't gotta be worried about dusting it up, and you can play. But power play time.
Yeah, he's on the PP.
It's awesome. You don't have to forecheck. You don't have to finish checks. You don't get yelled at if you don't block shots.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
I play Thursday nights with a couple guys too, and it's fun. Like we're the oldest team in the league now, so there's a lot of young guys who don't really understand the beer league etiquette yet. So you have to kind of keep them in the line a few times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know. We had to move down from like the A league to B league because it was like, man, that's like these guys are too competitive. Like the etiquette you're talking about. It's like, man, I just want to leave this game unscathed. I don't want to be losing my teeth or be injured. I just want to score some goals and have some fun. But man, these young guys, man, they're taking this serious.
Yeah, they go.
I know. I have to admit, I played about 2-3 weeks ago, and the thing about this Thursday night league, the late night games at 10 p.m.
Oh yeah, it's too late.
I'm just like, man, I've been swinging a hammer all day, like. But I was like, I better go out and burn some calories. And then these young kids, I don't know what they've been doing all day on social media or whatever. This guy back checks me and he's hacking me good ones. So then I turn around and I just like 2-hand him and knock a stick out of his hands. So I get a penalty for that. And then we're down a few goals. And then like there was a 50-50 puck with about 2 minutes left. And I was just like, I'm not going to get there first. I'm just going to finish my check on this guy.
Just steamroll him.
I just steamrolled him, and he was right in the corner. He went around the whole corner of the boards like a roller coaster. The ref blows away, puts his hand up. I didn't even look at him. I just went straight to the dressing room and got him dressed.
That was it.
I'm done, boy.
Get the warm shower.
Like, my wires are starting to get crossed. It's like you're just like, oh man, I used to play this professionally, and now like these accountants are kicking my ass over the ice.
Oh man,
but it's a good time. I didn't play for like I didn't skate for a good, like, I don't know, probably a good year and a half after. And I remember like when I linked up with some other pros in the area and everything, and nothing beats going into the dressing room for sure. Yeah, I definitely feel like you feel like like you're comfortable in the dressing room. I was like, yeah, this is my place, and nothing beats that. Definitely miss going to the rink for sure. Just having those good times. I remember you, me, and Riles just laughing nonstop, and then like business on the ice. You're just having this a gay old time, really. It was just like, and it's still like that. We got some good group of guys that I play with, and we're managed to be a little bit competitive at times too. And no, it's a great time. It's a great sport, so definitely feel blessed.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot. Like that's the biggest thing I miss is the mornings. Boys coming in, having a coffee in the room, shooting the shits. Like Riles always says, I was in Nasty's office more than I was anywhere. But that's the one thing I miss more than anything. Just that part of it. I mean, I miss the game time, the fucking intensity, but you miss the boys. And it's nice to men's league on Sundays. We play on Sundays, and you just don't really want to leave. Well, he does because he's like, I got to not drive an hour. Well, because he does. Because he does.
Trekking an hour to men's league.
He does. He really does. But it's like, you're right. Like you get in there, I get there an hour early before our game and kind of set the room up with the jerseys, like the loser equipment guy that I am. Pigeon.
Nasty's stretching, got the high socks, all the good nice underwear.
I'm old, TBird, dude. I'm going to be 41 this year. It's fucking nuts, man. Hey, fuck you. Hey, watch your mouth. You want to feel old? Peyton and Bryce are moms.
Oh.
Yeah.
Granddaddy.
26 and 24. They're 26 and 24. Yeah, and I have a 9-year-old son.
Yeah, I know you had a younger son for sure.
And he's a goalie. He's a goalie.
He's nothing like Nasty.
Oh man.
He's got some issues, TBird.
I know. I'll be 40 in February. And I remember I used to sit next to John Slaney in the dressing room when I was a first rookie. And I remember I just used to give Slanes the gears and everything.
For being old.
Oh yeah, just like, go drink some Metamucil, you old prick.
I remember that.
But I remember like John Slaney told me like it was probably my first couple weeks as a pro. It was like he's like it goes by pretty fast.
Wow.
He's like, yeah. I was like, you're young and ignorant. He's like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, then I remember I thought of that multiple times towards the end of my career. I was just like, wow, like, okay.
Slanes was right.
Yeah, man.
Chugging that Metamucil.
Yeah. Did you get on that Metamucil there, TBird?
Yeah. Exactly. I remember. Oh man, do you remember having like the coffee talks in the bathroom? And I think like maybe Rambo was hiding in the stalls with the feet up, trying to like
when that was snack maybe.
Yeah,
maybe it was Don Akbar. Yeah,
it wasn't proven, but I don't know, it was someone.
Yeah, somebody was. Oh man,
yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I remember Rambo gave me I remember when those one pieces came out. I just wasn't qualified to use one of those one pieces. So Rambo gave me took one of Slane's CCM tacks out there. Had to practice with a wooden stick for a couple of weeks in the skate zone. Oh man,
he did that to Ryan Parent too in the NHL. He came down and said use a wooden stick.
Yeah. Poor guy in training camp there.
What are you trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first round pick. Can't even use a one piece.
Oh man. Well, TBird, man, we appreciate you coming on with us, man, spending some time. It's so nice to see your face and talk to you, and hopefully we can stay a little bit better touch here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I enjoyed having you as a player, man. You were awesome. Such a great guy. Obviously, Riley say the same thing. You guys were roommates, but congrats, man, on a really good career, and you made it to the show, like you said, and you're just a good man all around.
No, I appreciate it. I'll never forget my time in Philadelphia for sure. I would love to get back sometime in the near future for sure. So I had a great time. It was a great organization. They were great to me. And like I said multiple times, I was definitely blessed. Met a lot of great people just like you two guys. And I'm happy you guys are doing well and you're healthy. And maybe I'll go back and get my sleeve finished that I started in New
There
Jersey.
you go.
So
Yeah,
I'm
right.
back and
There you go.
We went through a little tattoo
Well, frenzy
Yeah, we
there.
did.
for a little bit there, but
Yeah.
you know,
I can't stop now.
I know,
That's
right?
Thanks to you
fully
guys.
sleeved.
Oh,
But
it's
yeah,
great.
no, met a lot of great guys, and I'm so happy you guys are doing this, and it's so good for the sports, and keep it up, being the great ambassadors for not only hockey, but mental health and all those good things. So, wish you the
Yeah.
best and happy holidays for sure. So,
Thanks, you too, brother.
Thanks, T-Bird. Appreciate you, man. Good seeing you. Big thank you to T-Bird, Triston Grant for hopping on.
So nice to see his face smiling. What a good dude, man. You don't never forgot about him. It's just think about him here and there, but just seeing him and talking to him, man, you just miss him. Miss seeing him, and such a good dude.
Yeah, he's a fun guy. Yeah, I haven't seen his face like that for a long time. So I've texted back and forth a few times over the years, but it's great to chuckle and see him be goofy. And
He's a goofball.
man, he was a funny dude.
He
so
was. God, he
good,
was awesome.
good locker room guy. Tough as shit, man. I mean, you talk about
he was tough.
gamer,
Yeah.
hit like a truck.
Yeah, he did. He did lay some people out. I forgot it. Yeah, he did. He
Oh
could
my
hit.
gosh, yeah.
He's kind of
He
like
was
Ronaldo a bit.
Yeah.
Before Zach,
Yep.
he caught guys a lot with their heads down.
Yeah, he's a brick shit house. So
Yep.
appreciate you, T-Bird.
Yep.
What else we got? It's that time, I think, Nast.
Already?
Already. We're there.
Is it time for Clear Rum questions?
Mm-hmm.
Brought to you by Clear Rum. Go to clearrum.com/shop and use the code NASTY2023 and you get 35% off your orders in PA only. But Riggs,
Hey,
you
we're
just got to get it in you.
get it in. Yeah, we're reloading.
We're reloading. We had to reload.
Studio presentation.
I drank it all.
Well,
I mean, it happens.
You know,
It's
how
that
could,
good.
How could you not?
I know. It's that
Leaving the
good.
cucumber behind, but you got all the other ones down the hatch.
I'm not a cucumber guy. Just cucumber. I can't eat them.
No, you look like a cucumber guy.
I've had this. I can stomach it. Yeah, I'm not gonna crack those cucumbers because it's perfect right now till we get the new order in.
You don't want to have
You were supposed to bring today.
have too many vegetables hitting the old.
You cannot. You cannot do that. Can't
You'll
do
throw
it.
your body off.
Yeah, not gonna do it.
The
That's
alcohol's
right.
one thing. You add the cukesy in there, and your
Nah.
body you're thhrowing right off.
Yeah, I don't need the cusies. I take them right out of the salads when I get them, boys. I'm not eating cucumbers. I am not doing that.
Don't like the crunch?
No, I just don't like. I don't like the taste. To be
No?
honest with you, yeah, it's not.
Fair enough.
Put them on your eyes, though.
Yeah, I
You got
do,
new
yeah,
rest.
keep the bags
Yeah,
out.
Keep the bag. Debo told me that trick. I use it once in a while.
That's why you look so young and youthful.
I don't know. Maybe that's it. I don't
Cucumber
know.
eye caps.
Yeah.
All right, baller, we're
All
ready.
right, baller.
We're
We're
ready.
Now we're ready for the clear questions.
Oh yeah, let's go.
We got Mike Pohl over on Twitter. What's the funniest exchange you've ever heard between a coach and an official?
Man.
You must have heard a bunch
God.
of those, eh? Nast?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a really good one. Man, that's tough. I remember Lavi had a lot. Lavi had a lot of good ones, but Billy Barber used to also.
He must have
I'm
just
trying to
grilled the
think-
refs.
Oh,
eh,
he
really?
was. Billy, I loved Billy because he would be like, "All right, boys, you stay off the refs. Everybody stay off the refs." Puck would drop, he'd just start right away. Guys would just laugh, but he was so competitive. But I remember Lavi one time, and I think there's a clip of it because I think he was mic'd, and we're in Montreal, and the guy made a terrible call, and he was like, "Typical Montreal," telling the ref. But good God, over 26 years, I heard coaches giving it to refs all the time. I'm trying to think of one that really stands out, but that's probably one I remember where it really pissed the ref off because he said typical Montreal, like you got screwed if you went in there, which did seem to go the other way a lot of the times. But I think that's probably one that I remember more than any that pops into my head right now. What about you?
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. Honestly, I'm scratching my head here. I mean, there's been so many of them, but a lot of times it's just like disgruntled coaches like calling the ref over just to get an opinion, and might mutter something under their breath or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm struggling with this one, Nast.
You
Yeah.
ever grill the refs as a player?
Oh, all the time. I mean, I was always yelling at the refs, as well as everyone else. I was so jacked up on Mountain Dew and Sudafed.
Spider monkey.
Yeah, right. There was a couple refs. Justin Saint Laurent, remember him?
Yeah,
Especially in the minors. I used to give it to him all the time. He didn't like me very much, but yeah, I mean, I'm a grocery divider, and I'm trying to stay in the game and trying to keep the boys in it, and obviously, like, being a ref's a thankless job, and you can't do anything right. So, I'm sitting there and just trying to pick them apart, and poor guys, But yeah, there was a lot of banter.
Yes, tons of it.
Yeah, but I can't even remember what I said half the time. I was trying to like ride that line of like being engaged.
Yeah.
Yelling, but like, because you could easily cross that line and tell them to F off right out of the gate, and then you'd be toast. But it was always an adventure, to say the least.
For sure.
We got Ben Schad over on Twitter. We hear about dangerous playing surfaces in the NFL. Was there ever a professional rink that was dangerous and or really shitty?
Professional.
Right out of the gate, I was thinking in Johnstown, the 3-foot drop off, getting on the ice. You want to roll your ankle every time you step on the ice.
I've been there 2 times, and I've seen a guy fall twice.
Really?
Like coming out, and everybody's warned.
Oh yeah,
like
it's crazy.
Everybody's like, "Hey, careful that first step."
Oh, it's a large
literally
first step.
3.
Yeah,
it's like, that one. I didn't know you played in Johnstown.
Well, I played against. I
didn't know.
I was with the Dayton Bombers in the East Coast.
I was gonna say that's pretty dangerous grounds right there when you're stepping onto the ice, because you guys come running out and you jump. You got a bit of a drop there. In the NHL, I can't think of everywhere it's like, oh, the ice is so bad. Watch out, you're gonna get hurt. Or really the American League that I can remember, but you're right about the Johnstown drop there.
Yeah.
It's pretty dangerous.
Yeah. I got 2 others, and they were in the Central Hockey League. One was in El Paso, Texas.
Yeah.
Where it was so warm down there, and the locker rooms were like outside of the hockey rink, and there was just so much heat going inside and outside of this building that it was just pure fog. You literally couldn't see. Like, you couldn't see like 10 feet. So they would have to blow the whistle, let the fog settle, and then they would pick the game back up. And there was another one, I want to say it was in Austin, somewhere in the Central League again, a hot place, right? And the ice was just couldn't stay frozen. So there's little patches of like sand popping up, but they'd come and patch them up, and it was just like, talk about like minor leagues. Like, you want to get the hell out of these leagues. Like,
yeah, right.
But at the NHL level, I certainly don't remember anything like that.
Yeah.
It was obviously much higher standard.
Yeah, a little bit higher.
Good question though.
Yeah.
We got one final one from Greg Bond, 822 over on Instagram. Which decade had some of the best Flyers teams?
Man, well, obviously in the 70s, they won the Cup.
Probably start there.
But I mean, even in the 80s, losing twice in the finals with Hexy's, Rick Year, and the year Pelly was playing. They went to the finals and lost, and then they had really good teams when JR and Talk and all them like blew the 3-1 lead against the Devils. Mm-hmm. Those years the teams are pretty good as well, I guess. I mean, the 80s to get to the finals twice, it's hard to do.
Yeah.
To get there and win, but they got there twice, so
70s,
those
80s?
teams are pretty good. Yeah, I mean, Keenan was coaching and he was pushing the buttons. Obviously a lot of guys don't like him, but they got there, and if you win, it's probably still nice to get there, even though you don't win. But those teams made it, like 2 out of 3 years, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the 80s. So I would say then.
Yeah, I would agree.
Not the 2020s, some of the teams Chuck built.
I would say maybe not so much, unfortunately, for those guys.
No dynasties?
But not dynasties yet, but
they were the foundation of dynasties. I saw your boy Rex using a Tovey and Pracky.
I saw it too. Saw a couple of guys grab it.
Stishing
say,
it.
"What is this?" But he was dishing a pill with
He
it.
was. Saw Jared Bowl in the background there, saucing some pucks too there.
Bowlesy? Is he a coach there?
He is, must be. I didn't know.
I didn't know that. I know one thing. He avoided you like the plague when you were playing. And that guy was tough. He fought everybody. He wouldn't fight you.
He was probably just a bad trade-off for him. Coach probably told him not to.
No. I think he was afraid.
Could be.
Could be.
I'd
But
be
yeah,
afraid.
Rex using that. We're going to get someone.
Yeah.
That stick's unbelievable. So...
I'm getting a fresh
coming.
one for the alumni game.
Yes, you
I was
are.
texting with Aaron
Should
the
get
other
all
day.
the alumni guys using that
We
thing.
should. Get a couple dozen in
We'll
there.
work on that. We got to get Richard on the horn here. Coach. Oh, Coach, send those in for the boys.
I think we can get Richie. Nice big thick pallet made.
Nope.
Nope. Why not?
Maybe, yeah. We definitely get Rick Bone one. We're on it. Tovy's coming.
Let's do it.
All right. Riggs, don't forget, coming up in the new year, February 17th.
Can't wait.
You know why? Because we're
Fans
going to
of Philly.
MetLife.
Yeah.
We're going to MetLife Stadium, February 17th, to play the Devils. Fans of Philly, the best travel agency for sports there is. It's not even close. And it's going to be fun. It might be chilly,
Yeah.
but it's going to be fun. I'll make sure I'm warmed up.
Bring a couple toques.
Yeah, I can bring some clear rum with me.
Yeah.
Is what I'm going to be bringing.
Bring a little
But,
flask.
Yeah, a little flask probably. I might have one if I can sneak in the building with it. But
little cucumber sprinkled in there.
I might. Hey, listen, if I have to, I will because it's good. And right after that outdoor game, a month later, we're St. Patty's Day.
Oh.
Can't wait for that
Birthday
trip.
weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Boston for the Bruins and the Flyers. That's going to be a lot of fun. Some green beer. And you got to have a sip. You said you would, maybe one sip, just because it's St. Patty's Day and our birthdays.
Little celery juice.
We're going to... Selzy?
Oh, you say green juice.
Yeah, well, mix a little mush in there then, because that's about the only thing. But, yeah, man, fans of Philly can't wait. Those 2 trips within a month.
I know.
You're going to need some time to recover. You're going to need those 3
I'm gonna
weeks.
need a rest.
You're going to need it, boys. But I can't wait for that.
Me too. It's going to be a good
Joe.
time. Always is.
Can't wait.
Until next week for 138, be sure to tune in, subscribe, comment, ask a few questions. Anything about nasties, get up. Feel free to reach out. Until then, stay safe, knuckleheads.
See ya.